إيمانا مع إيمانهم ولله جنود السماوات والأرض وكان الله عليما حكيما ليدخل المؤمنين والمؤمنات جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ويكفر عنهم سيئاتهم وكان ذلك عند الله فوزا عظيما ويعذب المنافقين والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات الظانين بالله ظن السوء عليهم دائرة السوء وغضب الله عليهم ولعنهم وأعد لهم جهنم وساءت مصيرا صدق الله العظيم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah God Almighty speaks the truth. Thank you very much, Mr. Zayat. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the next agenda. Report by the chairperson of the IWAIIP 2023, Dr. Yasi Jusman, ST, MSc. The time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable Vice Rector for International on Cooperation, Prof. Ahmad Nurmandi, UMY, and Honorable Vice Dean of Faculty Electrical Engineering and Technology, University Malaysia Perlis, and all teams member from University Malaysia Perlis with the contribution as co-organizing committee, Honorable distinguished keynote speakers from Malaysia and Canada, especially who have attended in the Cavington Hotel today, Prof. Nur Ashidi Mat Isa from University Science Malaysia, Dr. Khairunisa Hasikin from University Malaya, and Dr. Abdul Halim Ismail from University Malaysia Perlis in the special region of Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Honorable Chairperson of the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineer Indonesia Section, IEEE Indonesia Section, for the technical support to our IEEE conference since 2020. Honorable guests, conference participants, particularly those who from aboard, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf organizing steering committee and also Vice Dean of Faculty of Engineering, UMY, it is my great pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to our IEEE International Conference workshop and artificial intelligence and image processing, and international conference on information technology and computing, ICITCOM, have focused on new development and application of image processing, artificial intelligence, included image recognition, medical imaging system, speech and audio processing, various aspects of robotics and machine vision, automation, mechatronic, computational intelligence, data mining, decision support, and signal and image processing applications. Before giving the floor to our distinguished keynote speakers, I will take this opportunity to make some general remarks and touch very briefly on the history of the IWAIIP conference and ICITCOM. Previously, the first IEEE conference was held at UMY, which was named at 2020 International Conference on Informatic Technology, Advanced Mechanical, Electrical Engineering, CITCOM. The conference was successfully held and published on IEEE Explorer after 6 months. This is because ICITCOM has a very broad scope, so it requires more time in the review process in the publisher. Based on the experience, we initiated a conference in accordance with a core scope of IEEE, namely International Conference on Electronic and Electrical Engineering and Intelligent System, ICE3IS, only took less than 2 months after the event was successfully published and indexed in the Scopus after 3 weeks after published. And now, in 2023, we managed 5 conferences in IEEE with the specific scopes to gather some researchers with the specific fields in order to obtain some valuable information and some problem solving for human daily life. Besides IWAIIP, ICITCOM today, we have managed IROSIP, ICE3IS, and AMMES is we do the co-host to be the co-host, and the UNIMAP as our collaboration is to be host. We will have in August 2024. We express our deep gratitude to all co-organizers, University Malaysia Perlis, University Malaya, University Science Malaysia. We highly appreciate and dedicated work for our lecture, UMY lectures, all UMY lectures, and also all students have many valuable support to us to build the conference to be success. And also all work together and also dedicated work for our reviewer. We have more than 450 peer review in the world, have many valuable contribution, and we will also thank to all participants. We get from 4 oceans, Africa, Asia, Europe, America, and if we gather the countries, more than 50 countries accepted paper in our conference. While concluding, I take the opportunity to welcome each one of you and express our gratitude in your agree to participating in this IEEE conference. And we hope you return next week with even more colleagues and more fantastic event, inshallah. Have a wonderful conference days. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Yasi. Ladies and gentlemen, the next is welcoming remarks by the Vice Rector for Cooperation and International Affairs, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, to Professor Dr. Ahmad Nurmandi, MSc. The time is yours.
Vice Dean of Engineering Faculty, UMY, representative of University Malaya, University Malaysia Perlis, University Sains Malaysia, and other representative from other university, lecturer, student, and participant of this conference. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, welcome to Yogyakarta, join this conference, and also welcome to Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, Bu. In this conference, we will discuss about the impact of artificial intelligence on human life. Yeah. Is there any better life or not? Yeah. Actually, Oxford University already study the impact of the AI on human. Yeah. The first is the loss of the job. Yeah. The loss of job. Yeah. From many studies, 40% of job will be lost because of the use of AI. Yeah. The second one about safety problem. Yeah. In Indonesia, we have problem about security and safety. Yeah. Data security and hacker. Yeah. The third problem brought about the trust. Yeah. Is there any trust from the public on AI application, particularly in public sector? Yeah. The third one about computational problem. Yeah. I think the four problem will be discussed in this conference. I hope all participants will share the current year research in this conference and also workshop. And one day conference, I think is not enough, and we will discuss another cooperation for the next conference in August 2024. Yeah. I appreciate all the faculty coordinator or coordinating conference from the mainly for the four university. Already they have done very great job to have this conference will be succeed. Yeah. On behalf of Rector Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, I open formally this conference by saying,
Please remain on stage because we are going to proceed to the next agenda, which is the opening ceremony. And we would like to invite the chairperson of IWAIIP and ICITCOM to accompany our Vice Rector for the opening ceremony. Well, let's count down together. Okay. The opening ceremony will be remarked by hitting the gong by our Vice Rector. Let's count down together in 3, 2, 1. All right, IWAIIP and ICITCOM 2023 is officially opened. Thank you very much, our Vice Rector, and also the Chairperson of IWAIIP and ICITCOM 2023. Well, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, moving on to the agenda, which is the speech. Keynote speech will be led by our moderator. Please help us welcome Ms. Widya Moro, MSc.
Cek. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. University of Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, the honorable all of the keynote speakers, the honorable all of the distinguished guests, and all of the participants of international workshop on AI and image processing in conjunction with International Conference on Information Technology and Computing, ICITCOM 2023. I would like to once again welcome all of you to this workshop and conference. And this is a very special moment that I think this is the first time for UMY to hold the offline conference. So it's we are very happy to hold it. And I think for this keynote speaker session, I would like to invite all of the keynote to come forward, and we will have like one by one to present during this keynote session. The first, I would like to invite Professor Nur Asidi from University Science Malaysia, please. And the second one, I would like to invite Dr. Khairunisa Dihasin from University of Malaya. And the third one, I would invite Dr. Abdul Halim Ismail from University Malaysia Perlis to come forward, please. Okay, thank you very much for all of the keynote speakers. So it's already complete, right? So can you just turn on the yeah. Right. Okay, Mr. Rico, can you present the slide? I've made the few slides to introduce all of the keynote speakers. Is it possible? Okay. So, thank you very much for all of the participants for this for your attendance this morning in the keynote session time, and we are glad to welcome all of the keynote speakers, and also we'll have two keynote speaker sessions that will be held first time in this morning, and then the second one will be during before the dinner. Yeah, so for all of the participants, so maybe you can notice and make sure that you will attend that session. Okay. Any slide? Okay, so we will have 3 sessions for this keynote speaker session here. The first one will be delivered by Professor Nur Asidi from USM. The second one will be delivered by Dr. Khairunisa binti Hasikin from University of Malaya, and then the third one, the presentation from Dr. Halim from UNIMAP. And yeah, okay. So I will just come forward like this because I need to. Okay, sorry. I need to make sure that I can read this one. So we'll have 3 sessions. Okay, keynote speech 1, second, and third one. So all of the session will be about 30 minutes to 40 minutes for presentation, and then after that we'll have like about 20 minutes for Q&A. Okay. Okay. Next. Okay, so actually the time is actually is a bit off. maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes off. So suppose that we will start at 8:15. But eventually we will have like about 2 hours and 15 minutes for Q&A. Okay, next. Okay, so for the first keynote session will be delivered by Professor Nur Asidi. Next slide. Okay, Professor Nur Asidi Mat Isa from University Science Malaysia. Okay, next. So he is currently professor and Deputy Dean for Academic Career and International at the School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, University Science Malaysia. His research interests include intelligent system, image processing, neural network, biomedical engineering, intelligent diagnostic system, and algorithm. Next. If you read, okay, next. If you read the biography of our keynote speaker, Prof. Nur Asidi, will be very long, but I will just mention the and highlight some of the important points here. He holds the Bachelor of Engineering from Electrical and Electronic Engineering and PhD degree in Electronic Engineering from University Science Malaysia in 1999 and 2003 respectively. He is currently professor with the School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering USM. He has published very incredible number, 190, 220, and 300 articles indexed in Award of Science, Scopus Index, and Google Scholar Index, respectively. His research interests include intelligent system, image processing, neural networks, computational intelligence, and medical image processing. He was recognized as top 2% researcher in the category of citation impact in single calendar years, 2019, 2020, 2021 by Stanford University, USA, and top research scientist Malaysia by Academy Science Malaysia. So that is the brief introduction of our distinguished guest, keynote speaker session 1, Professor Nur Asidi. And
I think we will start
without further ado,
for
we will give
admission in
him
the
chance
next
to
January,
deliver
next
his
January.
topics about image processing. Prof? Yeah, sort of image processing for PCB defect detection. So, please, Prof. Committee, can you have a stand here? I mean the
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, thank you UMY for inviting me. I think this is my fourth time I'm with UMY, so I'm glad to be here again and again and again. No worries, you can call me if you want. Okay, so my name is, so today I would like to share with you one of my PhD works. It is fresh from oven. He's just finishing his writing, thesis writing for PhD. So basically, his work is on artificial intelligence, which is focused on a deep learning, and he tried to develop a system which is by using a new CNN, convolutional neural networks, and the types is YOLO. We call it YOLO. In order to detect the defects for the PCB. And previously, my work is more on the medical imaging. I work with Dr. Karunisa is one of my PhD students. She's now the lecturer, one of the top university in Malaysia, So previously, she worked on medical imaging together with Dr. Yesi as well and Dr. Nurul Akamaria. So all of, basically they are my students. So now you know how old I am, okay? Okay, so I'm their seafood, their teachers, okay. So, but now because of Penang now moving towards the electronic industry, so we have the collaboration with the industry, and luckily we get sort of grants with the industry, 2.7 million. Okay, 2.7 million Malaysia from the Western Digital, one of the big company in Penang. So I'm one of the researchers. So we have 10 projects under that big grant. So I'm the researcher on the PCB defect detection. So my task is basically we want to develop a system which can automatically detect the defect that occur on the PCB, which is the electronic components. So sort of, we have the cosmetic defect. We have also the solder joint defect and component defect as well. Okay, so this is about myself. So I think I will skip this one. Okay, so it will be about 4 main topics, which is introduction, methodology, result and discussion, and conclusion. And I will not try to give the details on the method because this is my PhD students and he's not submit the thesis yet, so it's quite confidential. So, but I try to give you the overall ideas, how we develop the system, how we use the images taken from the real industry, and how we do the detection of the defects from the what we call the images. Okay, so as I mentioned, now we are moving towards electronic sector, and the IC now is getting smaller, and because of that, the electronic component is also getting smaller, and the PCB now is very tiny, and it's difficult. Basically, one of the quality of the electronic is based on the PCB, and then because of if there is a defect on the PCB, so the electronic will be failure whatsoever. So because of it's very tiny, so it is very difficult to manually detect the defects. Okay, so what the Western Digital want is they want to have the sort of imaging system, a vision system, which can capture the image automatically and then detect these very tiny PCB images to detect the what we call the types of the defects as well as the size and its location. So it's very challenging because one, because it's very tiny. The second one is because of there are many types of defects. Okay, and then the most important thing is how to localize to detect the locations of that defects with the very tiny areas of PCB. Okay, so these are the three types of defect detection, defect on the PCB. So we have first of all, we call it a cosmetic defect, which is problem or the defects that occur on the surface of the PCB. For example, there is scratch, there is what we call crack, and so on. So these all we refer to the cosmetic, and this cosmetic is basically it's not what we call effect much on the quality or the quality of the electronic, but it will reduce the what we call the market value of that particular products, because the cosmetic, when we see there is a problem with what we call the surface of the PCB, so it will reduce what we call the price of that electronic products. And the second one will be the soldering problem, because we know that PCB is involving the soldering processes of many what we call equipments on the very small area. So there will be a problem with the what we call the soldering problems to detect to detach one component to another component. Some of the component they will be attached together, so it will become the short circuit and so on. So these are the second types of defect to be detected. And last one will be the components itself. Okay, there are a lot of components on the PCB, so there are many types of the components. So that's why it is very difficult. It is very important in order for us to detect what we call the quality of the components. So the quality, there must be no slice or there is no problem, no defect of the components. So these are basically the three types of what we call the defects to be detected. So what we did is now, still in the developing process, we try to differentiate them into three different what we call systems. The first one is only focused on the what we call the cosmetic. The second system will focus on the soldering defect, and the third one will be focused on the defect on the component itself. Okay, but what we try to do now is we try to use the similar concept, which is the similar models of CNN, which is we call it YOLO. You looks okay, you only looks once, which is the YOLO CNN. So we try to use this YOLO to be able to detect all these three types of defects. Okay, so but the thing is now, when we have a different defects, there will be a different characteristic. So it similar to when we have the image processing, when you have a different types of images, there will be a different image processing have to be applied, have to be implemented, because one image processing cannot be applied to any types of images. So similar to our case, because we have a different types of defects, and these defects basically will produce a different characteristic between one defect to another defect. So we have to do a different modification to our system. Okay, but the model itself, the base itself is basically the similar what we call model, which is YOLO. Okay, so we have now currently we have many types of YOLO. They are YOLO 1 until YOLO 8 as of now. So by having this YOLO 1, YOLO 8, we try to pick one of the YOLO for one defect detection, and we try to modify the YOLO. We have to modify the YOLO because now the existing YOLO the weight is very huge, meaning that it have the parameter is very high, so it become very weight. So when we become very weight, we call it the very weighted punya, we call it the YOLO. So it will have the processing time will be more. So what we have to do is, because the industry want to make it a very rapid system, so we have to reduce the number of parameter. We have to reduce the complexity of the structure to make it more light and more easy and more have the very small processing, a very short processing time. So that's the challenging, because we have to meet the requirement from the industry. If we do it only for the what we call for the in terms of the research, is okay, because we can use many kinds of YOLO or CNN models. But now, because we want to meet the requirement by the industry, so we have to make sure that the structure is basically simple, the weight is very light, and also the process time must be very, very rapid. Okay? Okay, so this is basically the current trend. So as of now, there are 4 types of defect detection. The first of all is basically for sure is a manual process, the defect detection by workers or by experts. So this is very tedious, because of now the PCD becomes small.